So we welcome you to our meaningful meditation today. We're going to do something a little bit different and show you some different parts of our church here at University Presbyterian Church, because we are looking at Jesus' first sermon that he preached in Nazareth this Sunday. In our gospel reading comes from the book of Luke, and I think it's particularly interesting that Luke tells us about Jesus' first sermon by right out of the chute telling us that the Spirit, the power of God, rested on Jesus as he began his earthly ministry. And we wanted to show you how the power of God has been resting on us here at University Presbyterian Church, and that the first sermon that was ever given in our history was in 1958 and given in this room in Lawn Ridge Hall. We have the particular, unique church, and that we started here in this mansion that was part of the Dodge family, and back in 1958 this is where they gathered. So that's kind of part one of our meaningful meditation, is to think about the power of God resting on us and showing how it continues to evolve through the years and through our obedience. So as we transition, we're going to kind of move over to our fellowship hall, which was part two in the history of our church here. So for part two of our meaningful meditation, we wanted to show you our fellowship hall. This was the sanctuary that the congregation built together back in the early 60s, just 5 years after they had started as a church family, again showing the evidence of the power of God resting on them, that they saw the possibilities of what they could do as a church, and not just building a physical church for them to gather in, but also expanding their mission to the community here in Oakland County. That's been a part of our ministries, wanting to open up the love of God to those outside of the church as well. And so mission has been a big part of who we are here at UPC. So for part three of our meaningful meditation today, we wanted to bring you into the sanctuary. This was built 15 years later, and so this was the expansion of the ministries here at UPC to have a place in which they could gather to worship here in person and continue to live out the mission of God in serving the community, and thinking about how are ways in which we can be more involved in bringing the good news of the gospel of Christ to the poor, the oppressed, and wanting to reach out. And so that's been a big part of who we've been in the past and continue to be now, and our hopes for our vision of our future is to continue to care for those around us, and that we can only do that by listening to Jesus' sermon, that first sermon that he gave, obviously centuries ago, to think about the fact that the Spirit and power of God rests on us, and maybe when we're having a difficult time feeling that power of God, that we have the church around us, our fellow members and pilgrims on this journey of faith. So we hope this message will inspire you to think about the power of God that's available to you to grow your faith and to be a help, an encourager to those around you, that's what the spirit of the church is about. So always know you are very welcome to come and join us in person at 10 a.m. on Sundays. We have opportunity this Sunday to have another service in the evening at 5:30. It's our alternative service that we have once a month, and this Sunday will be a focus on contemporary music as well as a brief message. So join us at 10 a.m., 5:30, and then after the service we'll have dinner together, and so I want you to always know you're welcome to join us. So thanks for going on this tour with us as we have thought and reflected about the power of God that rests on Jesus, that he gave his first sermon with that power, and that we have that power available to us through our faith in Christ. So blessings for your journey, and hope to see you soon.